your brain, you're in the nerds domain. Come on in, it's about to begin.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Nerds Domain podcast. This week, I'm here with Hope Nicholson and her Nelvana of the Northern Lights Kickstarter Project. Say hi, Hope.
Hi, guys.
And, Hope, let's get right into the interview and hit you with some really important questions.
Okay.
In the impending zombie apocalypse, what is your weapon of choice?
A cellar with a really strong door.
A cellar with a really... So you're more of an avoidance.
Oh, yeah. I'm definitely the person who will hide in the locker with all the dry goods and just try to wait it out.
Right on. Okay.
No, I'm not a good fighter.
Okay. Given all the sci-fi that you know, what planet would you like to visit most?
Oh, that's hard. You know, I'm gonna say that I would probably visit the Queen of Statica's domain from Nelvana of the Northern Lights, actually.
Right on.
Yeah.
Well, good. Okay. And what's that planet like?
It's actually, okay, so it's full of ether people, which are guys who basically travel through the radio waves to get to Earth, where they then go and fight Earthlings. And it's all ruled by this really elegant woman who steals all of Earth's scientist knowledge once they're dead and uses it for her own advantage. So I don't think it would be the nicest place to visit, but I'm sure the advanced technology would make it a very comfortable living situation, if I was on her good side, that is.
Right on. Okay. Well, that is definitely a first answer. I've heard that one before. So, let's start off talking about a little bit of your sales pitch. What exactly are you doing with Nelvana? What is it, and what has gotten such a passion in you for this project?
Sure. Well, basically what happened, I'll give you a bit of background on the whole Canadian Golden Age very briefly, is that in the 1940s, Canada actually banned the import of American-made luxury goods into Canada. So this included comic books and pulp novels, as well as non-essential goods like champagne and caviar and chocolate and greeting cards and the like. So with all of this kind of limited, a bunch of Canadian publishers stepped in to fill the void. And one of the first publishers was Adrian Dingle, who formed a company called Hillborough Studios. And that's where he created Nelvana, who was one of the leading characters in his series Triumph Adventure comics. He later sold it to Cybelle, and after the 7th issue, where it ran for another 23 or 24 issues before the war ended and American comic books came back. So since then, Nelvana's never been reprinted, and the comic books are some of the most gorgeous comic books seen in the Golden Age from any country. And I thought it was such an incredible shame. Me and my partner, Rachel Ritchie, who also is a huge fan of the Golden Age comic book, decided a few months ago that it was finally time that we got around to reprinting them, because we don't want anyone else to have to struggle to find them or read them like we did.
Okay. And so where exactly are you going to find all this information? Where are you going to find these comics?
Well, the comics are held in a few different places. They tend to be extremely rare comics, but we know of at least 5 locations where various issues can be found. There's an almost complete set at the Victoria Archives as well as the Ottawa Archives. And we know the location of at least 3 private collections, which we'll also be looking at shortly. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So, tell us a little bit about yourself. What kind of comic experience do you have personally?
That's hard to say. Like, I've been reading comic books as long as I've been reading regular books or watching TV for that matter. Like, it always was just one of those things that I was doing. I just became a little more interested in it than most other people when they grow out of it, I suppose.
Okay.
So, you know, I start off with all the basic regular comics like Superman and Daffy or Donald Duck adventures and Archie and all that. And as I grew a bit older into my teen years, I read a lot of West Coast Avengers and a lot of like the kind of 80s and 90s Marvel stuff, as well as like Spawn and Spider-Man and all that great 90s Todd McFarlane comics that were coming out. Then I moved into, you know, the dark years with my obsession with Vertigo for a while. Then I've read a bunch of indie stuff like Chester and Seth and Jaime Hernandez. Then I went back to superheroes, read those for a few years, and now I pretty much just read anything that catches my eye.
Okay. And you produced or helped produce Lost Heroes. Is that right? A documentary?
Yeah, I'm the associate producer of Lost Heroes, which is a documentary on the history of the Canadian comic book superhero from the Golden Age, which I told you about, into the 1970s with the revival period with Captain Canuck and Northgard and the Northern Lights, into the American-made comic books that featured Canadian characters like Wolverine and Alpha Flight, and then into the stuff that people are doing now, like J. Torres' True Patriot collection, as well as comic books like the new Captain Canuck reprint by Calvin Androsky.
Okay. And so it looks like you funded rather quick. You guys have had this up for a little over a week.
Yeah, we were fully funded a half hour before our launch party, so.
Oh wow! Well, that's not a bad thing to have. So it looks like you're asking for 25,000 Canadian dollars, which, if I remember the exchange rate, is about the same in American.
Yeah, I don't know what day it is.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
It could be twice as much or half as much.
So where all is that money going? What's your big expenses there?
The big expenses is the printing, the shipping, the producing, and the travel. So that makes up the bulk of it, with a little bit of funding going towards our labor costs as well as buying technology like new cameras and scanners and printers to make sure that we get all this content as high quality as possible.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what kind of stretch goals are you looking at past this? Like, where do you go next with those kinds of things?
Well, right now, me and Rachel have been meeting almost every day to talk about issues like this because, honestly, we knew we would get funded, but we had no idea we would be funded in the first week. So we've introduced 2 stretch goals so far. We don't want to push ourselves because I do know a lot of Kickstarter campaigns have kind of promised too much and then been really stressed on trying to deliver it. So these are all kind of things that are already within our means to produce. So for one incentive, the first incentive, everyone who purchased something that required shipping would also get a free print by Alex Perkins. The second incentive was everyone who purchased a book, everyone who purchased a piece of original artwork would also get a free softcover book. So they could read the comics as well as look at the beautiful art that they purchased without having to add on any extra funds. And so we're still looking at more stretch goals. But we're thinking of book plates for the next one because we have some really great art that we'd love to showcase, and a lot of people have been asking for book plates. So. Okay.
And what kind of things do you plan on doing? Do you want to do more Canadian superheroes after this from the Golden Age? Would you do this again, do you think?
I don't know if we would need to kickstart it again. It depends on if we have any funds left over. We might just try to put any funds into the next project. It depends on how it goes and what kind of expenses and time were involved. So this is kind of our test project. And hopefully if it goes well and easily and people are very excited, we definitely would love to move on to other characters because there's so many amazing Canadian Golden Age characters that I can't wait to see reprinted.
Okay. And it looks like you've got a bunch of Canadian-born artists attached to this as well to help with some of their own takes on Nelvana, as well as help with the layout of what you guys are putting together. Can you give us any idea of exactly who?
Yeah, absolutely. Canadian-born, some people are actually not Canadian-born but have become Canadian. So.
Okay.
So we have Ramon Perez, who's also designing our book. So we're very excited about that. He's contributing an original art piece. And we have Francis Manipul. Jeff Lemire has been a huge supporter of ours. So is Ray Fox. Jay Bone, Adam Gorham, Jay Stevens, Marco Rudy, who I don't know if you saw Marvel Knight Spider-Man this week. Does absolutely amazing detailed work. So I can't wait to see that. Michael Walsh and Calvin Androsky, Scott Hepburn. Then we also have some webcomic artists like Jordan Vachon, Kate Less, Katie Shanahan, J.R. Faulkner, and Genevieve. So we're really excited with all the talent that's been offered to us. Like a lot of these people just came out of the blue and said they'd love to contribute art. So it's fantastic.
Okay. Is there anywhere that we could meet you and Rachel, or see you guys with the project? Any conventions you guys are going to go to in the next year?
We actually haven't worked that out yet. We haven't been invited to too many yet, so we kind of will wait to see how that goes. I mean, we'll definitely be at the Toronto-based conventions. We're thinking about TCAF possibly, but we'll definitely be at Fan Expo this year, and definitely TCAF next year. I'm just not sure if timing works out this year to go to TCAF. That's the Toronto Comic Arts Festival, sorry.
Okay, and, that's fine. No.
Yeah, so definitely, if conventions want to have us, and if we have the funds to travel to them, we definitely will. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, and anything else that you would like to kind of get out there to plug or to talk about?
Well, the one thing I'd really like to say to people is that a lot of people are really like this campaign and want to support it, but don't actually have the funds to do so. And I don't want anyone to feel pressure that to show their support, they have to give us money, because that's not true at all. Because what we really need to do is let everyone know who Nelvana is, whether or not, because we're fully funded now. Now I just want to make sure that everyone knows about her. I mean, I'd love to get a Canadian Heritage Minute if we could. If not, like another stamp or, her name on the coin.
Yeah.
Because Adrian Dingle created this really, really amazing character, and we really want to kind of promote his work the best we can. So if you don't have any funds, just tell someone. Like, tell someone on the street, blog about it, tweet about it, do a video if you want, create some fan art, anything you want. Like, you don't have to mention me or Rachel at all, but just make sure that people know about Nelvana. She's amazing.
Okay. All right. Well, I think that'll do us tonight for the Nerds Domain podcast.
Cool.
Rachel, where can we find you at on Facebook and Twitter?
On Hope. So you can find me at Hope Nicholson on Twitter and Facebook. And you can also follow Nelvana Comics at Nelvana Comics on Twitter as well as on Facebook.
Okay. And you can catch the website at Nerds Domain, and you can find me at Quiet on Twitter. You can always head over to iTunes to give us a rating, and you can head to /loot and pick up some shirts. That's tinyurl.com/ndshirts. And we will talk to you guys real soon.